Today, I'm going to explain an American comedy film called Relaxer. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Abby and Cam are a set of weird brothers from Minnesota. They are jobless, have no talent, and are hated by all their neighbors. The whole day they play games and participate in random challenges, hoping to win some cash prize. Basically, it is the younger brother Abby taking part in the challenges, while the elder one, Cam, records him and takes care of other arrangements. Kind of like how Ben Affleck farted and smoked pot while Matt Damon wrote Good Will Hunting. In the first scene, Abby is playing video games on his couch with great focus. Turns out this is also a challenge. Every 5 minutes, he will have to chug down 100 milliliters of milk within a time frame of 10 seconds. This will continue until Abby finishes the entire game. The hardest part is that he cannot even get up from the couch, let alone go for a bathroom break. During the challenge, Abby gets tired and thinks of quitting several times. However, Cam chastises him to keep going, saying that he is a quitter who has never done anything good in his life. He also mentions that Abby quit his recent job, because of which they're in this predicament now. They have no money to buy food or pay for rent. So come on, Abby, keep going until you poop milk. Hearing this, Abby reluctantly obliges. Several hours later, the challenge is still going strong. Abby has completed a substantial part of the game, but his urinary bladder is almost about to explode. He can't hold it any longer now. To gather some strength, he puts on a weird pair of glasses that his dad had gifted him years ago. From their conversation, we get to know that their dad has been incarcerated for assaulting a kid. Mac hates him for it and hopes to never see him again, while Abby believes that their dad is innocent. In the next morning, Mac heads to the other room to get something. He wants to spice up the challenge by adding a few more elements to it. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Abby grabs the almost empty gallon of milk and pees in it. After a while, Mac returns with some stuff, among which is a magazine. He turns to a page and starts explaining about a celebrity gamer named Mitchell. The man has apparently reached level 256 of Pac-Man, and he has declared an open challenge. Anyone who reaches level 257 will be awarded with a cash prize of $100,000. Cam asks his brother what he will do if he wins the challenge, to which Abby replies that he'll buy a private jet. Buddy, $100K can't even buy you a private toilet. As the two are engrossed in their conversation, Cam suddenly realizes that the gallon of milk is missing. He asks Abby about it, and the latter reluctantly brings it out. Surprisingly, Cam is still adamant on finishing the contents of the gallon, unaware of what his brother has done. Abby tries his best to explain that he can't drink anymore, but Cam is having none of it. He wants to continue with the challenge no matter what. So, he pours the content of Abby's bottle and starts counting down the time. The poor guy is about to drink it, but he suddenly starts puking all over the place. This ends the challenge, effectively. Cam is furious, and he once again berates his brother for being a quitter. He explains that he rented the camera for an expensive amount, but now he'll have to return it without any profit. These words really touch Abby, so he promises to do another challenge, and this time finish it. Cam tells him to take on Mitchell's challenge, which is reaching level 257 of Pac-Man. However, during the whole thing, he won't be allowed to get up from the couch. This is a punishment for his recent failures. Saying this, Cam starts packing his stuff, saying he is going to his friends and he will be back on New Year's Eve. He also reminds Abby that the camera is recording everything. After he leaves, Abby decides to complete the challenge in his own way. He calls his friend Dallas and asks him to bring pizza, drinks, and a movie. An hour later, Dallas arrives at the door and immediately starts complaining about the foul stench coming from the room. He also makes fun of Abby for being an unemployed person who thinks challenges are some way of earning money. He then delivers some painful news. He couldn't bring the pizza because his ex-girlfriend was there and he didn't want to face her. "That's tough, Dallas," says Abby. "My brother chains me to the couch and makes me pee milk." Hearing this, though, Abby asks him to simply get a sandwich from the freezer. Dallas complies, but before handing it over, he makes sure to chew a good bite out of the sandwich. Dallas also refuses to hand over the drinks he brought, saying he wants to be paid for them first. Abby insists that he is very thirsty, but Dallas doesn't change his mind. Instead, he decides to use them for a challenge of his own. Dallas tapes the bottles of drinks to both his hands and starts performing weird moves. At this point, Abby has had enough, so he wears his glasses and stares at his creepy friend in anger. Surprisingly, this causes the caps of the drinks to blow off. Dallas is taken aback by the incident, and he starts wondering if the glasses have superpowers. When Abby doesn't reply, he pours most of the drinks on the floor. What the hell, dude? Following this, he plays the movie he brought, and it turns out to be a cartoon. Expectedly, this enrages Abby, and he calls Dallas out for being a useless brat who couldn't bring any of the things he had asked for. He is just a jerk who likes to make fun of people. After he calms down, Abby asks Dallas to put the video game back on so that he can continue with the challenge. The latter does as asked and finally prepares to leave. But before going out, however, he throws one of the bottles towards Abby. It contains little to nothing, but our protagonist cherishes it like there's no tomorrow. That night, after all his supplies have run out, Abby tries to retrieve a cup from the floor without standing. He uses a selfie stick to get the job done, but unfortunately, the cup contains a lot of cockroaches. So now, Abby will have to spend the night hungry and thirsty. At least Abby's not playing Miss Pac-Man. That'd make him real thirsty. The next morning, 2 fumigators arrive there to wake him up. They want to fill the place with insecticide gas and kill all the pests that have been bothering the nearby tenants. Then, they ask Abby to step out, but as expected, he refuses. After being a quitter all his life, he is adamant on finishing this challenge one way or another. Unfortunately, the guys are having none of it, so they lift the couch and take him outside. With no options left, Abby promises to give half his earnings to them once he wins the challenge. The guys find it hard to believe. What kind of an idiot would make us a deal like that? But nonetheless, they let him be. Shortly after, they spray the whole apartment with poisonous insecticides and leave. Abby is still on his couch. He has put on a face mask and is munching on some leftover sandwich he found on the floor. He tries playing for a while, but soon passes out due to extreme fatigue and dehydration. That night, one of his friends, Erin, arrives and wakes him up. She is surprised to see him in this state and asks why the lights are off. Abby replies that they stopped working. Now he is giving it all to complete Mitchell's challenge. How's the game working if the lights aren't? Hearing this, Erin becomes even more surprised, saying that reaching level 257 in Pac-Man is impossible. There is a glitch on the 256th level, which makes sure no one can cross it. However, Abby is still hopeful. He wants to at least try, because he needs the money to meet his incarcerated dad. As the two continue talking, Erin's coworker Cortez arrives at the door. He seems to be an arrogant man who likes bullying others. He immediately starts complaining about the foul smell coming from the room and asks Erin to come with him. When she asks for some more time, he begins provoking the half-naked gamer. Cortez reveals that Abby's father is a child assaulter who has never done anything good in his life. He was caught red-handed inside a gas station, but he still has no remorse about it. However, Abby does not stay silent. He says that his father was an honest and hard-working man who was framed by evil people. He was only trying to help the girl at the gas station, but the authorities perceived him in the wrong way. Despite the clarification, Cortez continues bullying him. Having had enough, Abby finally snaps and puts on the special glasses. He then gives Cortez a menacing look, because of which the latter starts feeling slight pain in his chest. Fortunately, before things got out of control, Erin stops him. She then angrily leaves the place with her friend, promising to never come back again. Abby is slightly upset, not because his friend is leaving him, but because she didn't bring any food for him. Nonetheless, he brushes it aside and resumes playing. The next morning, Abby wakes up in a cold sweat. He is extremely dehydrated due to the lack of fluid in his body. To make matters worse, he is also choking because of all the windows in the room being closed. Since Abby has nothing to consume, he simply licks some sweat from his body, hoping it can re-energize him. Abby out here thinking he's on the planet Arrakis. The plan works, and once Abby gets some of his energy back, he tries reaching for the window to open it. Since he cannot get up, he uses various objects around him, but none of them work. At last, he reverts to his biggest weapon, his glasses. Abby puts them on and signals the window to open itself. Unfortunately, he miscalculates his powers and ends up breaking the window glass, through which a dead bird suddenly enters. After checking out the bird, Abby realizes that it is raining outside, so he tries to gather some rainwater through the window. He uses a camera tripod, but the plan fails miserably. At this point, Abby has become so desperate that he starts collecting the tiny droplets of water seeping through the walls. However, it soon stops raining, and the droplets disappear. Frustrated, he once again calls Dallas and tries manipulating him into bringing some food. Abby explains that they are going to play a new challenge in which they have to eat a pizza inside 5 minutes. Sadly, Dallas finds out about the deceit and hangs up the call. The fact that you're gonna die isn't a good enough excuse, dude. Making the half-naked gamer completely delirious. In a fit of rage, he smashes some stuff around him. Later, Abby thinks of an idea. He has seen a water pipe on the wall from outside, so he calculates the exact spot and starts banging on it with his tripod. He manages to find a pipe, but it is the wrong one. Abby accidentally struck the toilet pipe, and now the dirty substance is filling his room. Still, he doesn't stop trying and continues striking the wall. A while later, his hard work finally pays off, and he is able to find the drinking water pipe. In the next scene, we are shown that Abby is still inside the room, on his couch, playing the video game. However, drastic ramifications have been made to his surroundings. First of all, he has grown a long beard, indicating that it has been a long while since he got off the couch. The window is still open, so he usually kills birds and cooks them for food. As for the water, he still has that unlimited supply. To summarize, Abby looks like a caveman. One night, as he is playing, his neighbors start celebrating an occasion by launching fireworks in the sky. Abby uses this as motivation, so he puts on the glasses and starts playing with all his focus. Surprisingly, he manages to beat the supposed impossible level 256 of Pac-Man. Abby celebrates the success alone, thinking that he is some kind of god. The next morning, Cam finally arrives at the apartment with a friend. He is shocked to find his brother still sitting on the couch. When asked, Abby reveals that he has completed Mitchell's challenge and is now looking for a much more difficult one. He then asks what day it is, to which Cam responds that they just celebrated the 4th of July last night. That means that Abby sat on the couch for more than 6 months. As the two continue talking, Cam reveals that their dad passed away because the outside world had become catastrophic. Crimes have increased, global warming has taken a turn for the worse, and people have started eating each other. Their dad was also probably eaten by someone. Just then, Cam finds one of his brother's birds, which he has kept in a box. It is a decomposing, half-eaten bird, yet Abby calls it his pet. Disgusted, Cam starts making fun of it, enraging Abby. So, to teach his brother a lesson, he finally gets up from the couch and uses his telekinetic powers. His glasses also start glowing, because of which Cam feels a sudden pain in his head. The next second, his head explodes into smithereens, splattering blood all over Abby. With this, our gamer protagonist has completed yet another challenge. He has now been drenched in literally all the bad stuff: sweat, vomit, pee, insecticide, excrete, and blood. All he's missing is that goop from Nickelodeon. In the final scene, someone comes through the door, which makes Abby smile for the first time in months. He slowly hands over his favorite knife to the person, possibly his dad. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.